Hi, Louis.
Hi, how are you?
Uh, I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
My name is Martina. I'm from Czech Generation, Italy. And of course, today we're here to talk about the show, Maria Antoniette, and that is currently airing here in Italy on Sky, in which you play Louis XVI. Let's kick off with a little introduction to the show that tells us the story of Marie Antoinette and in a new and very contemporary way.
Well, there's two different levels to it. On one level, the show is a spectacle. The sets are incredible. The costumes are amazing. We're walking through the halls of Versailles, and the hair and makeup, everything looks beautiful. So it's very pleasant to watch. It's very beautiful to look at. But I think then the style of the show is very much from Marie Antoinette's perspective. It gives us a view of history and of this particular story through a lens that we haven't necessarily seen before.
Mhm.
It's a very intimate portrayal. It delves deep into the inner thoughts and feelings of Marie Antoinette and Louis. And I think it just allows for a much more complete understanding of these characters in this historical moment.
Yeah.
I think it's also fun. It's funny, and there's a lot of different characters to love and hate and love to hate.
And since we've seen you in Bridgerton and now you're part of this, can we say you like costume period drama? What's the thing that fascinates you the most about these kind of stories?
I It's never my choice what
Yeah.
but I do absolutely love them. I have so much respect and admiration for people who decide to put on a period drama because it's a lot of work. The costume department, hair department, makeup department have so much work to do. The teams were working non-stop, so it was a huge effort. I think a period drama is always fun. It's fun to look back at history, but with a view of our lives today and see what we can relate to, see what has changed, see what hasn't changed.
As you said, touching on such an important part of our history must have been hard, but also trying to readapt it in a new way after we've already seen it a few times. So what was your approach to the real facts? Did you have to start studying again history like you were in school again?
Actually, I got the role when I was still at university, so
Yeah.
I thankfully still had my kind of studying brain switched on. But I read a lot of the books, a lot of the historical texts. I watched some different, I watched all the films and
Mm-hmm.
TV series that had been done about Marie Antoinette before, documentaries, everything. And I found my friends who were studying history and got them to find even more things. And that was very helpful. It gave me an insight into fact about Louis and about Marie Antoinette that I didn't know. The fact that Louis's parents had both died when he was young and his older brother had died as well. He was never supposed to be the king. He was forced into this situation through the death of his family, which is a tricky and difficult thing to reckon with. But then ultimately, once we started working with the whole team and on the script, it was a case of working with Deborah Davis's words and forgetting the rest of it. Because
Yeah.
she has given us such a story, such a deep insight into these characters that whilst the history could inform what we were doing, it wasn't, we're not trying to make a documentary. We're
Mm-hmm.
making a drama, a family drama. And yeah, so it was a balance between working with the historical facts and then working with what serves the characters best through the script.
The show explored the misogynistic side of the whole story, a word that probably at the time didn't even exist.
Yeah.
Uh, but it doesn't only show how this affects women, it also shows the viewers how misogyny, sexism, patriarchy, and so on have unexpected effects on men as well.
Oh,
We
100%.
see that on Louis, of course.
We say big time on Louis. I mean, Louis is someone who was grown up in an entirely misogynistic and patriarchal world where he is shown and told that men will deserve and take everything that they want. No one has ever shown him anything in terms of how to respect women, the values, intelligence, ferocity, and wonder that women bring to the court, especially Marie Antoinette. So when he is put in situations where he's uncomfortable, he reacts in ways that are, for a viewer today, entirely disgusting, disgraceful, and abusive. But then for me, it was really tricky. There's a scene in episode 5 where Louis assaults Marie Antoinette, basically. It was, I think, I haven't actually spoken about this yet, but it was the hardest scene for me. And I remember saying, I don't think Louis would do this. Louis wouldn't, this is wrong. This doesn't feel right for this character, because whilst he's shy and scared, he does love Marie Antoinette and he would never hurt her. And then when I started to think about it, I thought, okay, well, he's trying to prove himself as a man. And the only examples of what a man should be in his life have been abusive, violent, sexually problematic people. So he doesn't know anything else. So this entire world that we are playing in has all of these things that they're trying to escape. Marie Antoinette is trying to escape this cage that she's in. Louis is trying to escape this cage that he's in. And everything is batting against them. So it's a continuous fight for both of them. But I think it's a really important and interesting way to look at history, because whilst, as you said, the words didn't exist then, misogyny and abuse and patriarchal ideals definitely did. So, yeah.
I always like to ask this question because it's really tricky for me. Is there a trait of your character you'd like to steal, and something of yours you would like to give him?
That's such a good question. What would I like to steal from Louis?
Also his wardrobe. It could be a thing.
I tried to steal his wardrobe and they wouldn't let me. I think I would like to steal. He has very fierce intelligence. I think he had a real obsession with the outdoors, with locks and clocks. I think that's kind of cool. I would love to have a hobby like that, and then what would I give him? I would give him a long lecture about sex and relationships and how to be healthy in those, and then also hopefully give him a big, huge hug and tell him that it's all going to be okay and you can speak. You don't have to run away from everyone.
Let's go back to the dresses, the makeup, the hair. I want to know, how was it like to film for hours dressed up like that? And if you have any funny story to tell me from set, like any wardrobe malfunction.
Oh, endlessly. My trousers would always break right down the crotch, because every time I got on a horse, it would kind of go. And so then we would have to stop, and I would have to stand there whilst everyone sewed it back together. That was it kept happening. It was, for me, it's my first big project. So it was really, getting used to being up every morning very early to get in the trailer for hair and makeup and costume. It was an incredible experience, but we had so much fun. The cast was so incredible. We all got on. We were just like a really big family. We had this day when Emilia appears in this huge white gown. So the dress was made by Dior, but the dress was so big with so much material that it would just collect leaves from everywhere. So between each take, we would have to hold up Emilia's dress and remove all the forest from it. The whole thing was incredible, and we were so lucky to be filming in the places we were filming, to be wearing the things we were wearing.
Did you have the chance to steal anything from set? Like,
I wish
anything.
I wish I'd stolen. I took some little things, like I took some letters, and then I took one of the doves. I can't remember what else. I think I took a little ship that Louis uses when he's planning battles, but otherwise, no, none of the big stuff.
Can you tell me which one was your favorite to shoot?
Yeah, I think it might have to be the scene in episode 2 with between Louis and the king, when the king is trying to teach Louis about sex with a tomato, and it's the most uncomfortable and awkward scene on planet Earth, but shooting it was so much fun because James Purefoy, who plays my grandfather, is a genius, and he's one of the most incredible actors, and he just produced these noises throughout the scene that were so horrific but so funny that it was a lot of fun, a lot of laughing, a lot of breaking character, but a huge amount of fun. And then I think any scene where the entire family is together was just it's so much fun.